Imagine a tool so potent that it can summon spirits from the other side. Have you ever heard of the Ouija board? This flat board, marked with letters of the alphabet, numbers 0 to 9, and the words yes, no, and goodbye, has been a source of chilling fascination for more than a century. It originated in the late 19th century as a parlor game, with no direct association to the occult. The players would place their fingers on a small wooden piece called the planchette, and it would mysteriously move around the board to spell out messages. But here's where things get murky. Some view the Ouija board as a harmless pastime, a game of make-believe. Others, however, warn that it's a dangerous spiritual tool, a portal to the spirit world that could potentially unleash malevolent entities. Many have dabbled with the Ouija board, but some have had experiences that turn from fun to fear in an instant. Our first tale takes us back to the 1980s, where a group of teenage friends decided to experiment with the Ouija board. This was a time of curiosity and rebellion, of testing boundaries and defying rules. And what could be more rebellious, more boundary-pushing, than attempting to communicate with the spirit world? In the dim light of a basement, these friends gathered around the mysterious board. With a sense of trepidation, they placed their fingers on the planchette, the small heart-shaped piece of wood that would supposedly move under the influence of spirits. They asked the board a question, a simple one. Is anyone there? The planchette moved. Yes. The room grew cold, the air heavy with a presence unseen. What started as a game, a simple dare, quickly escalated into a series of strange occurrences. Lights flickered without reason, doors slammed shut in empty rooms. Whispers echoed in the middle of the night. A shadowy figure seemed to lurk just out of sight, disappearing whenever they tried to look directly at it. The friends felt watched, hunted. Their once safe space now a realm of dread and fear. They tried to communicate with the spirit again, to ask it to leave. But the board only spelled out 2 words: not leaving. Their fear escalated into pure terror. The once curious teenagers were now prisoners in their own home, caught in a nightmare they had unknowingly invited. In desperation, they turned to a local spiritualist, who performed a cleansing ritual in their home. The strange happening ceased, the oppressive atmosphere lifted, but the scars of their experience remained, a chilling reminder of the power they had toyed with. The friends were left traumatized, vowing never to touch a Ouija board again. Their tale serves as a warning, a reminder of the unseen dangers that lurk behind the veil of the spirit world, waiting for an invitation to cross over. Remember, not all spirits come in peace. Some come bearing malice, eager to spread fear and chaos. And once summoned, they are not so easily dismissed. Our next story is more recent, happening just a few years back. A curious college student decided to try the Ouija board alone. Meet Lucy, a sophomore studying psychology, always fascinated by the unexplained, the supernatural, the things that lurk in the shadows of our understanding. One day, Lucy decided to explore the realm of the spirits using the Ouija board. Alone in her dorm room, she lit a single candle, the flickering flame casting eerie shadows on the walls. She placed her trembling fingers on the planchette, a sense of anticipation mingling with her fear. "Who's there?" she asked the silent room. The planchette began to move, spelling out a name, M-A-R-K. A shiver of excitement ran down her spine. She was communicating with the other side, with a spirit named Mark. But as the days turned into weeks, her excitement began to fade, replaced by a growing sense of unease. Night after night, she was tormented by vivid nightmares. In her dreams, she saw Mark, a dark figure lurking at the edges of her consciousness, a constant, silent observer. His presence was oppressive, a weight on her chest that made it hard to breathe. She woke up night after night in a cold sweat, the echo of her own screams still ringing in her ears. She tried to stop using the Ouija board, but it was too late. Mark had made his way into her life and he wasn't leaving. Things in her room would move on their own. Her books would fall off the shelves, the lights would flicker. She could feel his presence, always watching, always waiting. Lucy was left with sleepless nights and a fear that lingered long after the board was put away. She realized too late that some doors, once opened, are not so easily closed, and some spirits, once summoned, do not return so easily to the shadows from whence they came. She was left with sleepless nights and a fear that lingered long after the board was put away. The terrifying tale of Lucy serves as a warning to all who dare to toy with the Ouija board. Our final tale is perhaps the most chilling, involving a family who found an old Ouija board in their attic. In a quaint town nestled in the heart of America, a family of 4 stumbled upon an aged, dust-covered Ouija board hidden away in their attic. A sense of curiosity overcame them, and they decided to dabble in what they thought was a harmless game, a decision they'd soon regret. Late one evening, the family gathered around the board, their hands trembling slightly as they placed their fingers on the planchette. They asked the usual questions. Is anyone there? Can you show us a sign? To their surprise and growing fear, the planchette began to move, spelling out answers that chilled them to their core. Days passed, and the family started noticing strange occurrences. Doors would slam shut on their own, lights would flicker, and a cold, eerie presence seemed to fill their once warm and inviting home. Their youngest child began speaking to an unseen entity, claiming it was the spirit they had summoned. As the disturbances grew more frequent and terrifying, the family sought professional help. A local medium was called upon who immediately sensed a powerful, malevolent force within the house. She revealed that the Ouija board had opened a portal, allowing a restless spirit to cross over into their world, and it had no intention of leaving. The family watched in terror as the medium battled the spirit, chanting incantations and using sacred objects to force it back through the portal. The house shook, the air turned cold, and then silence. The spirit had been banished, the portal closed. However, the ordeal had left its mark. Every creak of the house, every flicker of the lights filled the family with dread. Their once peaceful home had morphed into a chilling reminder of the terror they had unwittingly invoked. The family was left shaken. Their peaceful home turned into a place of fear and uncertainty. And with that, we conclude our third tale of terror, a stark reminder of the dangers of tampering with forces beyond our understanding. So, is the Ouija board just a game, or is it a gateway to the other side? This question has sparked countless debates, sending chills down spines, yet intriguing the curious. As we've journeyed through the eerie tales of terror today, we've seen the frightening experiences of those who dared to dabble with the Ouija board. Let's recall the first tale, the story of the innocent group of friends who thought they were just indulging in a harmless game. Their encounter with an unseen entity named Zozo and the subsequent dark events still haunts them, turning their skepticism into abject fear. Then we traverse the chilling second tale, where a lone user was tormented by a spirit that claimed to be a deceased loved one. The emotional turmoil and the terrifying manifestations the user experienced left her questioning the boundaries of reality. Our third tale took us through a haunting story of a family whose home turned into a hub of paranormal activity after their son toyed with the Ouija board. Their once peaceful abode became a place of dread and unease. These tales are but a few among thousands that question the innocence of the Ouija board. Some see it as a simple board game, a toy to be played with on a dare or for a thrill. Yet others caution that it's a tool, a conduit to the spirit world, capable of opening doors to unseen dimensions best left closed. They warn of the dangers of inviting unknown entities into our realm, entities that may not always be friendly or benign. The experiences shared by countless individuals around the world suggest that the Ouija board holds powers beyond our understanding, powers that can turn a simple game into a horrifying ordeal. Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, one thing is certain: some things are better left untouched. For those who have dared to play, the Ouija board is no game.